On the last episode of Dice Funk.
So the two places that Modron are found are where again?
In the Temple of Primus and with the Black Hearts.
He offers his own hand towards Joan for a handshake while holding the robot hand in his other hand.
I killed a metal man?
In that case, then it might actually be considered murder then. I'm sorry.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Glitter Gold sells tickets, and when there is no more money to have, they will take last ships and then they will leave.
I'm very dangerous. I stabbed a knoll with my head.
I keep my ship. I do not work with horse.
No. We healed her. We tried to heal her. We're friends.
Knoll and Goblin are infamous. Everybody know. And the Goblin, who's called the Fox. But I need to know I can trust you before I bring you in on this.
I am a unicorn. You can obviously trust me.
It will require getting your hands dirty.
Are we stealing a ship?
From whom?
From Glitter Gold.
Stealing's wrong.
But charging exorbitant prices and making the poor people stay where they're probably going to die is pretty bad too.
We're not going to be better people just sitting around and drowning, so...
To save other people who would not be able to get off the island, wouldn't that be doing good?
Can we pick up other people?
Whoever goes on the ship has to be someone we trust, in either case.
And I'm going to paint a little picture of what the plan is.
He croaks and does a little frog fist bump.
Tell me about this water.
No, the ship is beneath us.
Is the ship in the cliff?
Yes. Glitter Gold stores ship underground. This cliff wall is an illusion. You swim in, there are ships to be taken.
Let's steal a ship!
This episode of Dice Funk is brought to you by my headache.
Aww. Hey, guess what?
Hey, what?
You might want to get over that quick. It's about to get rowdy in here. It seems like the pattern for this season is like talkie episode, action episode, talkie episode, action episode. So I think we're in for some stuff this time.
Oh, shit.
I don't trust you.
Let's confirm something. At the end, you guys all jumped off the bluff. Alias took some damage. He banged himself up.
Mm-hmm.
With his angle of entry. We did not specify when and how the bullywug went over.
We were holding hands.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. So you took him with you?
Mm-hmm. Well, because I'm the only one who can communicate with him.
Yeah, and you drew a picture for him, so like there's a way I could play this that would be rude and like difficult and make you roll for stuff, but like you explained it to him, you took the effort. So I'm going to say like he can roll with whatever you guys want to do as long as it's of relative simplicity.
Like jumping?
Jumping, like sneaking, like I don't know what you guys are going to do, but I just want to say like there's a world where this is difficulter. That's not the word. There's a world where this is more difficult because you brought someone you can't communicate with, but she made a genuine effort to try to explain things. So it's like we'll see how it goes, but assume he's like on board with stuff.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, because we're best friends.
Apparently so, yes.
So Violet the unicorn, Drop the human, Lavinia the dryad, and Alias the eladrin are waiting in the ocean water in front of a wall, basically the cliffside for Meadowlark Island.
Something that appears to be a wall.
Something that appears to be a wall, but the shadows in the moonlight don't appear to belong to anything. There's shadows being cast upon it with no source. Very strange.
Yes. I believe I mentioned Alias kind of reaching out his hand towards the wall to confirm what he knows to be true in terms of its nature as an illusion.
Yep. Alias reaches out his hand, and his hand goes right through it, as if there is nothing there.
Almost like as if he's hypnotized, he just sort of like pushes his whole body through to see what's on the other side.
Alias disappears from view.
Okay, Violet 2 goes through the arch in the holodeck. So
No.
I get that. All right, so Alias and Violet have now gone through the illusion.
I'm going to follow, but sneaky-like.
Okay. I mean, when stealth situations happen, we'll roll for stealth. But right, I'm like, this isn't a trap. You guys all
Yeah.
swim through the illusion. Like,
How am I supposed to know?
Yeah.
I know. Like that's a fair concern. But no, you guys all swim through it.
I just want to make it absolutely certain that I side stroke through it.
Mm.
All right, I'll write that down in my notes.
Thanks.
I'm writing down in my notes as well.
All right, you guys find yourself in a tunnel or almost like a cave. It's lit very dimly by moonlight. I think all of you except for Drop have night vision, so that wouldn't be a problem regardless. It may become a problem later, but you're in a tunnel / cave, kind of obviously filled with water, and you're swimming in it. Up ahead, it looks like it goes pretty deep in there. You don't see anything of significance right now.
Was there any sort of foothold or like area of land that we can get up onto, or at least where the water is shallow enough where we can walk yet, or is it still just deep water all around us?
Yeah, it looks like pretty deep water all around. Remember, this is just like a tunnel that's from the ocean. Like the sides of the walls, it's kind of a circular. Like imagine this whole thing is like a cylinder ahead.
Right.
So the walls are kind of smooth. You're not sure if it was made by machine or magic, but it definitely does not appear to be natural. This is not a normal cave that just happened to be here.
There's no spot that is wide enough and shallow enough to walk on. I see. So
yeah,
I guess Alias just sort of inadvertently takes the lead as he sort of looks around cautiously and snaps back to reality for a brief moment to realize, wait a minute, I just signed up to go into a base of some sort and steal a ship. Maybe I need to be taking this a little bit more seriously now. And he just sort of keeps his ears open to notice if he hears any sounds as he tries to advance forward carefully.
Okay, you hear Drop say, I can't see very well.
Oh, Violet says, hang on to my tail.
I repeat, is this party gonna get horny? Is that what's happening?
There's literally nothing about that. Although there already is Violet Drop fan fiction.
I noticed that, yes. Speaking about things that are fan fiction, can I roll a perception to see if I noticed anything in particular sound-wise in this tunnel?
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Nothing in particular, I guess.
I'm gonna roll for perception too.
Yeah, ditto.
I'm gonna roll to see if I smell anything.
Oh, okay.
It's gonna be this kind of quest, huh?
I rolled a 1.
Oh my goodness. Skitch rolled a 5.
I rolled the 5. Lauren rolled a 1.
Leon rolled a 3, and Johnny rolled a 10. You guys noticed that the water is wet?
Okay.
It's really wet. Like, whoa, so wet. How'd it get so wet?
That word got me like, whoa. And Elise just keeps moving forward.
All right, as you guys make your way down this tunnel, it goes farther than you were expecting. Like, you didn't know how much you were going to have to swim, but it wasn't this much. And you guess from the basic direction of it, you think that you're approaching under Glitter Gold Tower. Like, you guys, this is basically like a secret underground entrance almost, but you're in like a canal. And as you get into where it would be too dark for Drop to see anything at all, there starts to be torches on the wall, and he can once again see without issue.
Okay, Vinny's gonna go, guys.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we should stop for a second and think about this.
Well,
I'm not good at that.
Not that we shouldn't do it, just like game plan.
given that we don't know who's in here, what they have, how many ships there are, what their resources are, what weapons they have, what weapons they don't have, it's pretty hard to make a strategy lacking all of those things.
So what you're telling me is we should take them by surprise.
No.
I think we'll have the advantage of surprise, irrespective of whether we're trying to or not.
Good plan.
Nobody expects a unicorn.
That's true.
Oh my god.
I love this dumb, horny party.
We should send a scout. The sneakiest one of us should go and investigate and come back and tell everyone else. Because Violet is big and violent. I love you, Violet, but you're big and violent.
I sure am.
And you might get noticed if we don't know what's ahead.
That would probably be myself and he looks over at the Drop. Drop, how good are you at being not noticed?
I want to say 5, but I don't know what that means.
Fuck.
I don't know what that means either, but if you wish to follow, you're more than welcome to come along.
Okay.
Violet, Mr. Ribbits, and I will stay behind.
Mr. Ribbits, right? Alias just sort of rubbed his face a little bit like this. Okay, what would Jove do? What would Jove do? He sort of mutters to himself, what would Jove do, a few times, and then sort of snaps himself out, looks to drop and says, all right then, let's proceed inward and hopefully we don't get too surprised.
I think if we surprise them, it would be better.
Austin,
Yes, Leon?
would you say this cave is dank?
Hoisted my own dank tard.
No, but I'm serious. Will you out loud say this cave is dank?
I'll say it.
Yeah.
One of you roll to see how dank this cave is. No, this is...
I can roll nature.
Is that a D8?
Listen, I'm going to need Alias and Drop if they're going ahead to roll stealth.
You got it. Respectable 16 from me.
Ooh.
And a 23 for me.
Nice.
Didn't even better.
You guys are so sneaky that you escape your own shadows and you swim ahead. You guys are like the ninjas of the sea. Mer ninjas.
We're ninjas. I like the sound of that.
So, like, penguins?
Oh my god, yes.
Penguins are pretty clumsy, guys.
No, not in water.
On land?
He's got me there. Leon, this cave is really dank. Do you feel better now?
Thank you, God.
I know. All right, so you guys swim ahead, get a lay of the land, and you basically come to what appears to be the end of this canal that you're in. I'm going to reveal it on the map in roll 20, so you guys can see it if you want, but I'll describe it for listeners. You are in basically a cul-de-sac. He's giggling at my clip art. Ahead of you, there are two ships docked at the end of this canal. Each one has two gnomes in gold armor with spears, apparently guarding the outside. Remember, it's like 3 a.m. now. They don't look particularly attentive. They're like, I don't know, reading, doing sit-ups, picking their nose. They're not doing anything particularly interesting. But you guys swim up and you see two ships. One is kind of a slim, slight ship. It looks pretty fast. It doesn't seem to be particularly well armored or armed. You see a couple of those harpoon guns on the deck. This ship is called the Lazaretto. The other ship is a much bigger, heavily armed, heavily armored ship, although it looks hella slow. This is like a fortress that happens to be in the water. This ship is called the Blunderbuss, which is the in-fiction name for the harpoon cannons, I've decided.
So many eye rollings.
Shut up, Johnny. Don't blow my spot up in front of everybody.
So I'm going to assume that these ships are kind of like different extremes around the ship that we were on, which was probably faster than the Blunderbuss, but not as fast as the Lazaretto by eyeballing what these ships look like.
Yeah, that seems fair. You do notice that they are both wooden ships. They're not like the converted ship you guys were on before. The sails do seem to be made of the same material, but you don't see any of the metal on the outside, and they're facing towards you. The bows are, so you can't see if they have engines on the back. And that's what you see. You do notice that the walkways where the gnomes are standing are going to be too high for Violet to climb onto. And I don't know if you've ever been to a dock before. They are not made for horses to get out of the water and onto.
Right.
You could conceivably reach up, grab the edge, and haul yourself onto land.
You, my friend, have been hanging around all the wrong docks.
I know that those famous horse docks of Spain or something. Maybe there is an example where horses can get onto. But I worked at a dock for several years. Horses are not. They're not handy capable. So that is what is ahead of you. Two ships, each of them guarded by two gnomes. They're on opposite sides of the ships, so they could conceivably hear each other, but they cannot see each other. These two groups.
Ellie sort of leans in towards Drop and whispers, I have a feeling that the speedier of these two ships would be the one on the left. I personally have a preference for speed over, well, brute force myself.
I hope it's got an engine in it.
You do notice I said that the sails are made of the same material from the Glitter Gold 9. They are not up. I don't know if you guys how much information you know about ships, but like you have to raise the sails to set off. They are down currently. It does not look like it's ready to go, which makes sense because it is docked.
I'm sorry, Austin. You just confused me a little bit there. So how big are these ships? Because on like tall ships, when you raise the sail, that's when it's.
Yeah, they are not raised. Are you okay, Johnny?
No, my brain just exploded.
It's okay. They are big ships, similar to the one you guys were on before, but they're not converted, and the sails need to be made ready, is what I'm saying.
I think he's saying that the sails are in such a way to indicate that these are not intended to move anytime soon.
Yep.
All right.
That's all.
We're gonna have to beat up these gnomes.
There's always another option.
You were saying other person who's the only other person here.
Just saying. out of character.
Yeah,
here.
same.
We might have to, get down.
Alias sort of mentions to Drop, well, we can try to pursue a little bit closer, see if we can do something on our own, but I don't like our odds here. Let's at least relay this information back to the others.
I never really like our odds, but they might be better with your plan.
I concur. Alias nods to Drop and says, well, let's make our way back then, and he turns to try to quietly swim back towards the rest of the group.
Yes.
With your guys' stealth checks, you can come and go as you please.
Right.
We are moving in concert here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like a well-oiled machine that only has 2 parts.
Yep, you guys are slippery, wet, and well-oiled.
That's me.
Alias will relay the information that they saw to the others when they return. Add a note. I believe of the 2 ships that are available to us, we should take the faster of the 2, at least the faster looking of the 2.
Do they fly?
Well, we will know that after it's too late.
Fuck.
Violet says, okay.
I love how Skitcher lulls you into this like I'm just gonna have a normal conversation, and then he just fucking joke punches you.
All right.
I'm not an expert on these types of ships. You would be better suited than I, and even then, these are unusual ships of gnomish design.
That's true. Well, let's go over there, I guess.
Wait, did you guys see? You said there were gnomes. Did you see a gnome that looked like it was more in charge than the other gnomes?
I didn't notice anything in particular about them other than they were all roughly the same. They all look kind of the same to me, I have to be honest.
Racist.
Oh my god.
First of all, that's racist. Second of all, they look like 4 night guards, like they're not the cream of the crop. Also, remember, this is not the direction they expect anybody to be approaching from. Yeah. And judging from how far you swam, you guys think you're under Glitter Gold Tower. So you assume that the heaviest security probably is outside the building, maybe in other parts of that building, maybe at whatever junction gets you down here. You guys came in the back entrance, so
I'm gonna say they look like they were all dressed as backup for a very particularly garish bardic act.
Oh, those guys. Okay.
Violet says, is there a way for me to get on the ship?
I suppose we'll find out when the time is wrong.
All right.
I guess is the right way to say it.
Well, we could all just stand around here and, do nothing, or we could go over there. So I vote we go over there.
I love this. You guys
plan.
are good at this.
Alright, so I guess Violet and I have to roll for stealth.
Yeah, I guess we do.
I mean, they stealth ahead and they saw that there was nothing immediately going to detect you guys, so I'm not going to make you, there's no reason for you to splash around wildly, right? You can get close.
Well,
I was going to say, it sounds like something Violet would do.
Yeah. All right, I just won't then. All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, so tell me what you guys want to do.
I don't know I mean, I'm looking at your map thing, but I don't know exactly what's in front of me. Like, where are the gnomes on, big platforms, or,
The gnomes are on shore, on walkways, on land, standing next to the part where you would get on a ship.
So that column down the center, Leon, would be the water, and then the ships are on either side, and then next to each ship are 2 separate walkways.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is there's no way to just jump onto the ship without the gnomes seeing it, from the canal. So we have to go on the land in order to get on the ship, is what I'm trying to say.
Ships are pretty high, but I mean, conceivably you could try to Spider-Man up. I'm going to tell you right now, the math is not in your favor on that.
Especially not for Violet. I understand that. That's what I'm just trying to get the height and width of all this.
You're at a distinct disadvantage in every way, Leon.
No, I get it.
Joan did offer to let you stay behind with her for a reason, but I do commend you guys not breaking up the party. I'll say that.
Never Scooby do it. So what I'm trying to say is,
except last season.
Yeah, which was always ended badly. So that's why we're not going to do that anymore. So on the from what I'm trying to say, from water to land, how high is it?
High enough for a humanoid to reach up and just grasp the edge and pull themselves onto land.
Okay. So I guess that means Violet is gonna have to like do like a Linda Hamilton in Terminator 2 pull up in order to get up there and roll for strength.
Violet is not getting onto land from water.
Okay.
Like, I don't mean to be a dick. It's just not human. It's not horsily possible.
Okay. Well, then the plan. Then Violet looks at what's going on and says, "Okay, then the plan has to be you guys have to get onto the ship and then get me on there somehow because I can't from this vantage."
Right, we'll have to use some sort of net system or something that is hopefully on board.
Yeah, there's obviously a big pulley system for horses.
Can we? I don't know if this would work for airships, but if they were previously old ships, can we see if there's any like lifeboats on them?
They're currently old ships. They have not been converted, as I've said
Well,
before.
yeah, but
From the vantage point of the water, you cannot see lifeboats on it. Remember, because you're looking at it from below and it's kind of high, so you can't get a good view of the deck.
And I'm small.
Then Violet says, "Then you guys are gonna have to go get on the ship, but remember, I'm the one who can pilot it, so don't leave me hanging here." And then Violet basically does nothing else because she literally cannot do anything else at this time. So this is on you guys.
Now, vehicle.
I'm surprised how much difficulty you guys are having with this.
No, we're just thinking about it.
Well, at least it's just like, in either case, there's two ways I see about going this: deception or distraction. Which do you prefer?
Distraction.
Distraction would be having Violet swim out in the middle of this whole thing and drawing the attention of the gnomes.
Okay, that way I can be helpful. Okay. Violet says, "I'm okay with that plan so long as everyone else is."
But how fast are you in the water, Violet?
I'm horse fast. That's how fast I am.
I think our last swimming escapade proved that Violet could swim
She's
like a
pretty fast.
motherfucker.
Okay.
Yeah, like we established, like we Googled it. Horses are like notoriously great swimmers somehow,
Okay.
even though you wouldn't think they would be. And my speed is like 50 or something, so I'm willing to like do this.
So Elise then says, "All right then, the rest of us should proceed down the middle." I wish I could point on the map here. It's like down the middle between the two ships, since we won't be spied there. Move to the left and climb up while the gnomes are being distracted by Violet over here, and that should give us an advantage to get a drop on them and possibly subdue them without any need for violence.
Yeah, I can get on them.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I'm distracting them, and you guys jump them from behind. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, done. All right, just tell me when. Just
Okay.
get over there and then say now, and then I'll
But
do it.
before we split up, Vinny's gonna grab Violet's snout, stare deep into her eyes, and say, "I love you."
I love you too.
The frog looks over and he looks mildly jealous.
Aw.
Yeah, deal with
I
it.
pat him too.
Oh, god damn it. I want all the hugs. All right, just say now, and then Violet will do it. Like, at this point, we've figured this out.
So like Elise would be basically pursuing down this way to get over to effectively here is where he's aiming for, so he can get up on top on that position there.
Yeah, I'm trying not to acknowledge the visual elements.
Right. I'm just describing for the party what's happening.
You guys are sneaking around the back of the ship through the middle. Violet's going to stay in front near the bows and make noise to attract the gnomes.
We're going for the fast ship, right?
We're going for the fast ship, which is the one on the left.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
So you guys are sneaking onto the Lazaretto. Violet, can I get a performance check from you?
Fuck yeah. My performance is not great. But I'm gonna do it anyway. It's -2.
Which will give you an advantage for this somehow, but I don't know if I can.
Leon hasn't rolled yet. I'm gonna give Bardic Inspiration.
But wouldn't that make sound? Wouldn't that be...
Oh, that's true. I can't do that.
That'd be music.
Would it be the fact that Violet is following a plan I concocted grant advantage on the performance?
No, it's basically down to her ability as an actor. Can you just roll for me?
I'm good.
Okay.
I was just letting them talk. All right, here we go. 3.
Oh,
Oops.
Jesus.
Oops, that's not great. All right, so the party swims up between the ships, and then Violet, describe to me how exactly you are trying to pull this off.
She's splashing around and says, "I am a unicorn." It's not a good idea. It's not a good idea.
It's kind of hard to mess that one up.
Yes.
That is a very 3 performance.
Right. If I critted it, I would say Violet moonwalks on water, and then it would just have to happen. But that's not what happens. So she splashes around and declares she's a unicorn, and everyone is interested in that, and we will see what happens.
All right, so you guys see okay, Violet, from your vantage point, you can see 4 gnomes like come around to the front of the ships and see you're splashing. While when they leave their post, the rest of the party makes their way around the back or the stern of the ship, and you see that it does not have an engine. Neither ship have engines on the back. There's just normal ships back there. But when the gnomes see you, they have looks on their face that just say like, "What is this garbage? Like, what is this absolute bullshit?" And they look at each other like to, confirm what's going on. And 2 of them run off back deeper into where you cannot see them. You don't know where they went.
I think it's probably time to move, everybody.
Which 2? The ones on the left that they're going to jump, or the ones that are the other ones?
1 from each crew of 2
Okay, understood.
runs off, and the other 2 stand by the edge, basically just looking down on you with their spears held like at the ready. They don't know what you are, but like they're not like concerned for you. They're like, okay, well, let's see how this develops.
I'm going to attempt to scale onto the ship at this point in time, because I think the jig is up.
Yeah, I'm not making you roll for that. Like, you guys are all fit and capable. You all pull yourself onto land, and you guys jump onto the Lazaretto, and you are now on board that ship.
Is there anybody on the ship with us, or is the other gnome still standing on the dock area?
Why don't you guys make stealth rolls for me to see if you get onto it without attracting the 1 gnome who's still standing by the Lazaretto?
19.
Drop
23.
Perfect. 23.
Let's see how bad I fuck this
Yeah,
up.
Lavinia, it's all down to you. It's all on you.
14.
Yeah, that's fine. You guys all make your way onto the ship, a hunched over, like slow walk, but you guys make it on, and you're now on the ship. You don't see anybody else on there. It seems like at 3 a.m. there was just 2 guards guarding the back entrance for each ship.
Okay, how about dumping the gangplank, everybody?
That's the boards to get onto the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, yes. If that's what you're doing, just say it.
But wait, where are the gnomes that were left behind? Are they still next to the ship, or are they over by Violet now?
They're over. Yeah, they're over in front of the ships, looking down at Violet because Violet is distracting them.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's 1 gnome on each side of the bank looking over at Violet.
Okay, the other 2 took off. Okay.
Right.
So I got it. I will dump the gangplank. You guys get Violet onto the ship. Because we're gonna need her to sail.
Wait, hold on. Perception. Can I roll perception to see if there's like a net or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm so bad at perception. I got a 6, so.
You see what looks like a discarded food wrapper.
There's gotta be ropes. Can we fashion a harness? Who knows how to tie a rope?
There's hella ropes. It's a ship. There's more ropes than you know what to do with.
What would I roll to see if I could fashion a horse harness?
Sleight of hand.
Austin,
Yeah.
presumably there are pulleys attached to like the masts and things like that.
Mhm. Yeah, to operate that, I'm going to need, I guess, vehicle proficiency, which I believe only Lavinia has.
Yeah, okay.
So that's proficiency +2, so D20 +2 to operate some of that equipment.
Oh god, I got 11.
Yeah, Lavinia knows how it works, but it takes her a little bit to get it into gear. Like, it's like, oh, hold on. Oh, shit, I fucked it. Oh, I got it. So she gets it. It just takes a little bit. And I do want to double confirm drop. You kicked the planks into the water, right? So that no one else can get on
I don't know if I want to kick it into the water or pull it on board. Would I be able to pull it on board?
Sure. There are still ropes holding you to the shore, though.
Yeah, I recognize that, but it just means it's going to be more difficult for them to walk on. And
Agreed.
Once pulled on board, I think I'm going to go and employ my sword in judicious administration of monk justice to them. Those ropes.
All right. So drop is slashing ropes. Lavinia is getting I guess like a winch system ready to try to pick Violet up out of the water.
Yep.
Alias will be investigating the controls of the ship to get an understanding of how to operate it well enough to get things going well without having Violet around. Can I?
Investigation.
There we go. 20. Not crit, but just 20.
Yep. Based on you saw Violet operate the Glitter Gold 9, so you feel like you have just like a basic rudimentary understanding of how ships work. Like you push wheel that way, it goes that way, and so forth. So you feel like once the sails are ready and you're no longer attached to the dock, you can get it out from its mooring. You don't know much more than that, but you can definitely make it go when it's time to go.
Am I still fucking with the ropes?
You got it set up. You're gonna have to need to get alongside Violet before you can attempt to winch her up, but that's ready to go.
Okay.
As soon as Alias confirms the controls, he's going to assist either Lavinia or drop whoever wants his help more at the moment.
Okay, well, I made like a little like a harnessy type thing, right?
Yeah, you tied some rope so that you think you can scoop Violet out of the water.
Okay, so I don't have to get down there. Couldn't I just have her maneuver and get her belly over it and then we'd pull her up? You know, like when they carry cows from helicopters. Have you seen that?
Well, yeah, but the point is that we need to move the ship first because it's currently still tethered to the dock.
Oh.
Correct.
I'm trying to take care of that.
So I think Alias will actually assist Drop in cutting the ropes.
Okay, well, since I'm done with my pulley system, can I roll another vehicle proficiency to do the sails?
Yep. Teamwork.
And I rolled an 11.
11's okay. It's going to take you some time, and I'm going to say about halfway through, you start to hear clanking of metal and feet.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you're doing your best on these sails, but there's a lot of them. It's a full-size ship. It usually takes a crew of like 8 people or so to make this thing work, and you're one person.
A very small person.
Are the gnomes still looking at me?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a stealthy way to do sail work.
That's what I'm wondering. Wait, can I try to distract them again? I mean, it's been a while, so.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, if you want to do another performance check to keep their attention on you.
Okay, that's.
Oh no, I'm still a unicorn.
I mean, seriously, you guys, I'm a unicorn.
I'm like really a unicorn. You don't know.
6.
Oh, Jesus.
That's totally what it is.
Okay. In that case, Violet very badly sings "We Built This City" by Starship, and hopefully that will be enough.
One of the gnomes turns to the other one and goes, I don't know if this is a unicorn. Seriously, though, with the roll of a 6, the one near the Lazaretto does hear the sails and turns and sees. But you guys also have other problems because, like, a platoon of armored gnomes are coming down the stairs. Or you assume because you guys are under Glitter Gold Tower, but they are making their way towards the boat. The other gnomes who left were getting reinforcements. So it looks like there's like 12 more gnomes with armor and spears coming towards you.
How are we looking on this not being attached to the dock situation?
I'm going to say you guys are no longer attached. You're still up against... You guys are still in, like, your mooring, but you're not attached, yeah.
Okay. Are there any, like, long poles nearby or something that I could use to sort of maybe fend guys off if they got, like, close to the dock? Not necessarily as a weapon, but just as a kind of, like, hey, get back. Hey, stop that.
Could you borrow my whip?
He could. There are the harpoon guns.
Oh.
There are those.
I'm gonna kill those gnomes.
Don't kill the gnomes.
Those are not non-lethal damage harpoons. I mean, just letting
I just
you know.
want to wing him.
They've been blunted for this exact purpose.
I'm gonna take position at a harpoon gun then, and start loudly exclaiming that people better get back because I don't know how to use this, but I assume that they're exceptionally dangerous, and when dangerous and me mix, bad things happen to other people.
Intimidation roll, my dude.
All right, intimidation.
Like good, bad. He's the one with the harpoon.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
No, wait. But hold on. You know who's proficient in intimidation?
Yeah, I assume you?
Yeah, I'm gonna scream, I have magic and I know how to use it. And I got a 24.
Hell yeah!
That's pretty magical.
Salute my shorts. I cannot believe you.
And I'm gonna, like, wave my whip around really, like, threateningly.
It's like, I know magic, and that's the intimidating one. That's great.
Yeah, he points a loaded harpoon gun at a platoon of soldiers. They, like, one of them steps forward and, like, laughs, like, you're gravely outnumbered. And then Lavinia just steps forward and it's just like, I can shoot magic. And they're like, whoa, we didn't realize these guys were heavy rollers. This changes everything. No, but, like, how do you want to intimidate them? You say you have magic. Do you make any demonstration of that?
That spell you've been talking about.
Can I well, I don't want to use a spell slot. Can I?
It would prove that you have magic, though.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna use. Oh shit. Okay.
You crit. You could just say I have magic and it works.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
It's the flavor. I'm just asking her how she did it.
You could do cartwheels and that would be enough.
Yeah, I said I was waving my whip around. I was waving it around, really
Okay.
like a lion tamer.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like the scene in Indiana Jones where the guy does all those cool sword tricks and gets shot.
That's good too.
But without the shot part, like that, but it works. You do some cool
whip tricks. No.
It's like it's like instead of check out my cool vape tricks Vine compilation, it's like my cool Vine whip tricks. Yeah, literally Vine compilation.
Yep.
Fuck, I love this campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they all take a step back and they're like, I don't know if we should mess with these guys.
While she's doing this, I'm going to be helping getting the sails up and ready to go. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're not flying or whatever yet. We don't need wind yet. Can't we move the ship through the... Wait, how are we gonna get the ship out? Can it fit through the tunnel?
I get the impression that perhaps the sails are made of a very particular material. Every time Austin's like, the sails, he's like, the sails are weird.
The sails are of particular note here, and while this does not have an engine, Alias assumes that the sails have something magical about them that allows the ship to move without wind, or at least move in a way that defies what the wind is specifically doing.
Yeah, if you hold down the A button, the ship goes.
Okay, okay. I don't know if we ever established this. The ship can fit out through that back entrance that we came in, right?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're up to.
Yeah, this canal is a cul-de-sac. There's only one way in and one way out.
Okay.
Okay. So what are y'all doing? The gnomes are momentarily stunned by your display, but
where are we at with the sails?
there's halfway maybe of full go.
Can I roll another? I don't think that's how it works.
Well, I mean, you're currently doing your intimidations thing, so if you're gonna go do something else, that's gonna take your.
I'll do an attempt to work them. Is there any way I could finesse using sleight of hand to be more dexterous with how I handle the sails?
Sure.
I just rolled an 8, so.
8. No, I mean, you don't really do a great job. I mean, you make progress, but I'm saying you guys have gotten a couple of the sails operational and ready to go. If you guys were out at sea, you would be making some progress with the wind. But there's no wind in here, and
right.
It's not looking great.
Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. You give me the other end of the harness, and I go dive out to Violet. We get Violet, maybe Violet, pilot ship, maybe ship.
Profit? Step 4, profit.
Yeah, that's the plan. Just tell me what I'm doing in this harness.
Then I'm gonna grab the end of the harness that's destined for Violet, and I'm gonna pitch over front of the ship and yell to the unicorn, "I'm coming! Get ready to get tied up!"
Yay!
No.
This is taking a turn. All right, so you can attach Violet to the end of the harness, but I mean, are you gonna stay down with her?
Couldn't he ride her up?
What do you mean? Am I gonna stay down? Am I gonna wait in the water?
I mean, someone's gonna have to operate the other end.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna tie Violet up in the harness, and then I'm gonna make my way back to the ship.
Oh, okay, that's gonna take some time though.
Yeah.
All right, so that's happening.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Okay, I'm looking at this platoon of gnomes, right? Is there one that looks like it's in charge, like the leader, like a captain or something?
Yeah, sure. One looks like he has some I don't know, buttons or whatever.
All right.
He has some fucking flair, some Applebee's flair.
Okay. Okay. What do I roll for? I roll a d20 for spells, right?
It depends on the spell.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, because we didn't write that down. Dissonant Whispers?
Dissonant Whispers is a save for me. What's your spell save?
My spell save is 12.
So I gotta make a Wisdom 12?
Yes. So I'm gonna try and Dissonant Whispers that gnome, that Captain Gnome.
All right. 15. He beats it.
Damn.
He's gonna take half damage though, right?
Yeah, and doesn't he flee? Or no? That's when I win.
It's only if he succeeds. It's 3d6 psychic damage, half on save.
Roll to 10.
All right, so he takes 5 damage.
Okay.
Yeah, the gnome you're pointing at suddenly reaches up and grabs his head, and like he just has like the world's worst brain freeze. He's like, oh, I drank that Slurpee way too fast. Fuck.
I'm gonna yell, I did that!
In response, 2 of the gnomes rush to the ship and jump aboard.
Oh shit. How'd they get up here? They're so small.
They could jump.
They took running jumps.
Okay, how many are there?
There's 2 on board right now. A couple guys like rush to their commander to see if he's okay.
Alias, as soon as they hears them land, just sort of draws out his rapier and sort of gets in sort of a defensive stance, saying, "It's like, listen, you two. We are merely taking this so we can take on the Blackhearts."
Is that a persuasion or intimidation?
It doesn't matter. The same bonus for both.
Roll it for me.
Austin, I'm just going to wait until you tell me that I'm back in the game.
It's a 10.
10. I mean, you don't seem to have particularly swayed him. He just like is looking at you like, that's a thing you just said, and I have my orders. Johnny Drop has made his way back up onto the deck, and he can now run over and try to winch Violet back onto the ship.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Violet, as you're being pulled through the air, are you gonna have any thoughts?
She says, "Wee!"
Yeah.
And will not stop until she's on the ship.
That is pretty much what I expected.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was hoping for.
If I wanted to try and push one off, would I roll something for that?
Yeah, strength contest.
Oh god. I roll. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Ignore that. Listen, I'm a mess. I rolled a 15. And oh god damn it.
16, exactly. Exactly one more. You run up and grab onto the gnome and attempt to push him over, but he steels himself and holds you in place, and you guys are now locked in a battle on the edge of the ship. Violet and Drop, is there any particulars of your guys' situation that you wanted to communicate to me? Or are you just bringing him up safely and then putting him down gently?
I'm just trying to get Violet down on the ship without too much jostle. Without too much. Maybe a little bit of jostle if that means I can hurry it up.
Okay, that is happening. Anybody else?
Alias is concerned about Lavinia sort of diving in like that ahead of him, but just sort of kind of keeps his pose, keeps the rapier sort of pointed at the other gnome, sort of looks him down and just says, "Please, there does not need to be any bloodshed here tonight."
All right, 2 things happen in rapid succession. One is the gnome you're talking to lunges forward with his spear. A 10 on the attack roll.
He misses.
You pirouette out of the way of that, and he goes running by you. The other is the bullywug, seeing his friend in danger, runs up, takes the dagger from Lavinia's belt, and plunges it through the eye of the gnome she is wrestling with.
Holy shit, Mr. Ribbits!
You're now wrestling with a screaming gnome who's squirting blood all over you. Is that what you're doing?
Yes. I'm freaking out.
I love this. All right, Violet's on the deck now.
Yay! And she stopped saying "we."
Okay.
It's important.
I guess Elias' sort of response to being attacked is to effectively do a riposte on the gnome that went past him.
Mm-hmm. You gonna roll attack?
We'll roll an attack. 17.
Oh yeah, that's gonna hit.
8 damage.
Nice. So one thing about my DMing style, and I guess this is a good time to introduce it, is my characters aren't going to fight to the death like video game NPCs. Like everyone has a sense of self-preservation. And
Sure.
So it's not just a race to empty HP bars.
Okay.
So he lunges at you with his spear, you step out of the way, and you stab him in the back, and he goes down clutching his back. And so like he is not at 0 HP, but he does not seem interested in fighting you anymore. He's just been stabbed in the back.
But the guy with the knife in his eye is still...
He's like in, I don't want to say death throes because you can survive an eye injury, but he is basically just screaming. He's not interested in continuing what he was doing either.
Now that Violet's on the ship, I'm just trying to get an idea here. We're all on the ship. Where exactly are the gnomes in relation to us?
Yeah, all the gnomes and armor are on land, basically. They're on the other side of your ship. You guys have cut your ties. You're not like connected to land, although they can, as you've seen, they can long jump.
Okay, so, all right. I'm just saying, so there's none actually on the ship.
None that are currently dangers to you.
Okay.
Although, as I guess you're wiggling out of the harness, you see actually a bunch of gnomes responding to their friends' wounds are going to run over to the other ship. And this seems like they're getting it ready to make chase.
Okay, Violet commands the ship. and because that's what she does, and
Wait, but are the sails up?
tries to get us out of here faster than them.
Vehicle proficiency.
Yo, 14.
Yeah, 14 with the glance around, you determined that you guys can get some sailing done right now. You just need wind.
Okay.
The ship could go right now. It could have gone for a while.
Okay. Well, we don't have wind, so can anyone magic up some wind? Is that a thing?
No, none of my spells can do that.
Nothing impressive enough.
What is the main thing that the sails need to do in order to become more fully unleashed? Is this something that's just high up that needs to be grabbed onto, or what?
There's just more, I mean, I don't want to get tied down to like nautical shit. There's a little bit more work to be done. If you want to do it, you can do it. But my point is, you guys could be moving right now.
I'm guessing my whole point is if there's like a higher vantage point that I need to get to help finesse the sails better, I have a means of getting up there quickly.
You just want to phase step really bad.
I mean, I could. I mean, I don't want to but I can if it's necessary to get up there. That's all. I'm just I rolled once to try to finesse the sails. All I could do is do it again since I've already injured one of the gnomes, and outside of dealing with the sails, Elise is going to be checking the gnome to make sure he's not mortally wounded.
All right, you check, and he does not appear to be mortally wounded. He just appears to be wounded to an extent that he just doesn't want any more of you.
Mm-hmm.
Lavinia, the gnome in front of you is still screaming and writhing in your arms. I don't know what you're doing. Just keeping him just for a souvenir?
Well, I was waiting for you guys to stop talking. Oh boy. It's probably a bad idea to take the knife out of his eye. I feel like that might make things worse.
I mean, Mr. Ribbits withdrew it. I'm just calling him
Okay.
that first. Yeah, he just stabbed him in the eye.
Okay, I thought he left it in there.
No.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh shit. I don't know. There's a gnome bleeding on me. I don't know. I don't know. Vinny's losing it. I'm going to. Okay, I guess I'm gonna fucking cure wounds him.
Interesting choice.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't want him to die. You know.
D8 plus charisma.
Wait.
D8 plus charisma.
Damn it. I'm gonna do it. Okay. And I rolled an 8.
Nice. You reach up, put your hands over his eye, and there's a glow from under your hands. And he stops whimpering and kind of falls to his knees. You see on shore 2 more gnomes who looked ready to jump aboard and avenge their comrade hold back. And they're like, I don't know what she's doing. That was weird.
Guys, I told you I have magic, and we don't want to hurt you. We just really want this boat. So please stop. And I'm gonna roll persuasion. And I rolled a 5. So.
The rest of the gnomes on shore run over to the blunderbuss, and they seem to be getting it ready. You also know it is bristling with guns, and the people are getting to them now.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out a way to make the sails go down faster, but I'm not being told things I can do to do that, or things that, or what my options are, because I did the one roll, didn't do that well. Am I supposed to just roll that again?
No, I don't want you to make any of the same rolls.
Okay, all right, Austin. So, like, what is the state of the ship right now? Like, if I decided to like look around and be like, okay, that thing is not working or that's not set up.
I would say the sails are like 3/4 of the way set up. They are
Okay.
perfectly sailable currently. That's
Yeah.
not your issue. And there's a heaping helping of gnome blood on the deck.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else on the deck of the ship that looks like, a little unusual to me?
Perception or investigation? I assume you're a monk, so probably perception.
Yeah, 13.
13. By the mast, you see like a pile of stuff. There's like a rope, there's an anchor, and you see something that looks out of place. It's like sticking out from under them. When you get closer, you see it looks kind of like the item's called a bellows.
Uh-huh.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I know what a bellows is. I am going to engage the bellows.
All right. Do you want to paint me a word picture there?
Like, how large are these bellows exactly? Like, are they fixed into the deck? Are they something that you pick up and...
Yeah, handheld, something that a humanoid would hold.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick up the bellows, I'm going to aim it at the sails,
Mm-hmm.
and just go, oh, geez, I hope this doesn't look as stupid as I think it does, and then squeeze the bellows to blow wind at the sails.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, bellows are like a tool in smithing that shoot air out of them. And on the first squeeze, the wind rushes out and hits the sails, and the whole boat yanks forward. as if like grabbed by a hand and like tossed. There's a lot of heat on that fucker.
Okay.
Comparatively.
I put some mustard in that squeeze.
Yeah, and the sails, that should not be the way that worked. The sails like yank forward, and you guys are like jump. Basically, the boat, which is no longer tied to anything, like jumps into the tunnel ahead.
Violet takes the wheel and tries to not hit us into the wall.
I exclaim to everybody else on deck, I'm gonna make sure the second one's a little gentler next time, I promise.
I think speed is more important than gentleness at the moment.
Do you want to go overboard?
Proficiency, Leon, D20 plus 2.
To not crash us? Okay. 20!
Nice.
Yeah, you do some Luke Skywalker shit. You turn off the targeting computer and you take this ship, the Lazaretto, down the canal smooth as silk. I think Drop has figured out the bellows at this point. So you guys are moving. You're heading out.
All right.
You hear the sound. You hear shouting from behind you, and actually, when you guys reach basically the mouth, you can't see it. Is that because of the illusion? But you hear an explosion behind you, and the sound of a spear falling into the water. A couple of lengths behind the ship. You are in the faster one, though.
Right.
It's a good thing we took the faster one, guys.
I'm checking. I'm still. Elias is, I guess, working on the sails as well as he can while keeping an eye on the gnome that he stabbed earlier.
Yeah, there are 2 stabbed gnomes lying prostrate on your deck. There's blood everywhere.
I thought my gnome was okay.
Your gnome is fine.
He's not fine. He's had his eye punctured and then magically restitched together. I'm sure that's still a traumatic and painful experience, and that doesn't soak up the blood on the deck.
That's true.
Like he still had a night, you know?
Yeah, but his eye is better.
Yeah, for the moment. All right, and you guys rush through the illusion out into the cool night air.
Well, that went better than it could have. What I'm saying is, we started strong.
Elias looks at Lavinia and says, Lavinia, could you check the other gnome, please?
I can check him, but I can't do magic anymore.
No, we need to dump that gnome overboard. We're not taking a gnome with us.
Well, whenever we pick up Joan, can't we leave them on the cliff?
This is me out of character, but just like...
Elias just says, can you just check on that gnome, please, Lavinia?
Oh, God. Okay.
Medicine check.
I'm not the person to be doing this.
I'm working it.
I rolled a 6.
No, you walk over and you try to address his wound, and you accidentally like stick a finger in the stab
no.
hole, and he yelps.
Can I guess can I roll nature to see if I have any healing, like, soothing herbs in my bag?
Sure.
Alright.
I have a pretty decent medicine skill.
15?
Rolled a 15.
Yeah, you find some pain-killing herbs and you stick them in the wound.
Elias will go to Violet and say, I guess we need to move over to shore so we can get Joan on board.
Okay.
Do you guys do that?
Yep.
All right, you swing around the island. You go along the coast as it slowly loses elevation down to the beach, and you can see in the distance Joan standing there on the beach, waiting for you, holding Elias's bag.
And I guess we'll be close enough. Elias will say, well, at least we can leave these 2 on the shore where they're not at a risk of drowning.
For at least a little while. They're all gonna die eventually, you know.
I mean in the immediate future, Drop.
Oh.
So you guys are unloading the gnomes onto shore and helping Joan on board. She does have 1 leg.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so that's very thoughtful and magnanimous of you. It does give the blunderbuss time to catch up.
Not that much time. We were pretty far ahead, I feel like.
Pulling the ship close enough, grabbing the guys. I'm saying you can see them. They're not like up your butt immediately.
Okay.
Right.
But you can see them.
Yeah.
And Joan says, friends of yours?
No, just passengers. And Elias is also going to make sure to have a torch burning and toss onto the beach by the gnomes to act as a visual marker of where they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, are you guys going to take off again?
I'm going to yell, book it!
Punch it, Chewie!
Chewie punches it.
Violet, yeah, we're going. Violet says, shoot harpoons at them. Just really kill them.
We're going to have a conversation about Violet's alignment at some point.
At who, Violet?
The people who are coming up behind us.
No, that would tether us to them. We need to escape them, not tether ourselves to them.
Take off the ropes. It's just fire into their brains.
Then we lose our weapons for later. No, we just need to move quickly.
Fine.
It's a good thing you have one smart person in this party.
Violet's just panicking. She does not know how to do anything right now, and she's looking directly forward, so everything behind her is very scary.
Alias is gonna try to be inspirational with Violet. He's like Violet.
Yes.
I thought you were just a unicorn. You were a unicorn sailor. This is the time for you to prove it.
Okay. Violet hits whatever the ship equivalent of the accelerator is and goes.
Drop is currently
I know.
the equivalent of the ship is.
I am the accelerator.
I understand.
Is there more than one bellows?
That's a good question. I mean, I feel like I kind of made it obvious. These are like super fancy magic sails that didn't that you guys spent a lot of time being confused about.
I didn't know. I just couldn't think of the word bellows, honestly, or could think of the object bellows. That's why I was like, I'm not sure what else there is.
Well, Drop, I assume you're giving it full power.
Yeah, I'm giving her. I start, I'm starting to get a little misty, so I sort of like rest out of my tunic a little bit and start getting a good rhythm. Start singing a song to myself, a working song. You hear mutter myself, I call this one I've Been Thinking About You by London Beat.
You're getting all glistening and rippling. I like it. But no, you guys are in the faster ship, so you guys definitely start pulling away, and the blunderbuss seems to be giving chase at first, but when it's clear that it's not going to catch you, it turns back and goes towards the torch you guys left on the beach, you assume to rescue the other gnomes.
Violet feels better about this now, and she says, "So long, suckers," and that's it.
Drop, like, between breaks, you notice that now that you're out in the open, like, the natural wind is more than enough. These sails are basically amplifying the wind to such an extent that you don't even need to do it anymore.
Okay, I put the bellows down and then attempt to wipe the sweat from myself, not too suggestively.
Okay.
Wow, it's like he's gleaming like the sun, and it's still night.
Okay.
He's like glistening like a cologne commercial.
Violet says, "Joan, you're on my ship now. So if you would like to tell us what we can do to escape Lorelei now that we have a boat, it would be great."
But let's put our heads together. What skills do we all have that we can leverage?
I sail. By the way, the ship is called the Violet One.
I'm tremendously good at telling uplifting stories. You wouldn't guess that.
I play music.
I could come up with a plan with enough resources.
I can also jump.
Not incredible adventuring skills, honestly.
And punch.
Need I remind you, we were able to acquire this ship with no casualties on our part.
There is blood all over the deck.
On our part.
But none of it's our blood.
Yes.
I love you guys so much. You're my favorite people. All right, so there's like 10 minutes before Johnny has to go. Do you guys want to discuss what you're going to do? Because I can break it down in about that much time, hopefully. You guys want to...
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I will hear you.
All right. I was dreading doing the Joan voice again, but here we go. So what we need is material to make the ship fly. We need someone who knows how to outfit the ship. And we need allies, and we need money.
I have none of those things.
I know where we can find allies.
Oh.
Yes?
My home village. They'll do anything for me.
They will, including giving up all their life savings and earthly possessions to send you on a trip 2 days ago. So, I'm not sure. Lavinia, I feel like the voice in the back of your head, which is me, is saying, do you think they'll be excited to see you right now? Maybe. You do have a unicorn with you.
Yeah, and we have a unicorn. They've never met a unicorn.
Does anybody have a map?
I have maps, but I'm still updating them.
I'm naked.
As Alias pulls out his maps from Lavinia's bag and presents them to Joan.
Oh, these are very wrong.
I've grown to realize that very quickly. Yes.
When Violet says she's naked, you see the bullywug emerge from below deck carrying like a naval coat and outfit, and there's like those hats you see Napoleon wear in like portraits. Like there's one of those kind of hats, and he brings it over to you and like puts it on your horn.
Yeah, good.
It doesn't quite go all the way down.
It's fine. Violet says, I'm the captain now.
Look at me.
I'm gonna high five Mr. Ribbits.
I am Captain Violet of the Violet One.
We may need to vote on name.
No, the captain.
When you high five the bullywug, your hand comes away sticky with blood.
I'm just gonna cringe.
Oh, he killed someone.
Well, she saved him.
Okay.
Joan and Lewis Joan and Alias says, I was able to get some gold by doing odd jobs for folks, but I assume the amount we need is far greater than small odd jobs would accomplish.
You have pen or quill?
Yes, of course. And he procures stuff for her to write.
Yeah, she begins marking up your map to make it more accurate, and she's going to show it to you guys. And it's bad because she's marking up a map that was wrong, and not because I drew this in MS Paint.
I would like to see it.
Fuck off, first of all. This will be available on Patreon if listeners want to see it. It's not super important. There's like 4 areas, and I'll explain them in character.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm dropping it into the Discord thing right now.
I cannot wait.
Don't at me.
That's better than I was expecting.
Yeah, it's actually fine.
Yeah.
I can't. It's an acceptable map. All right. Where are we? Where is the You Are Here mall map?
We're near Meadowlark, aren't we?
Yeah, we're near Meadowlark.
Yeah, you guys are slightly north of Meadowlark. You just came out from an underground cavern with the ship. There are 4 basic points around you which you can reach without being in danger of being dragged under by sea creatures, basically. Venturing outside of this area is essentially suicide. And Joan explains the 4 areas to you. I'm going to do it out of character, just because we got places to be. And she also explains to you opportunities, basically. So to the north, there's a chain of islands. They're called the Cascades because they all have rivers that cascade into entrances to the Underdark, which is a subterranean system of... It's basically another world, but underground. It's not just like a cave. It's like, imagine that there's a whole other world, like the reverse world, the dark world from Zelda, under there.
Mm-hmm.
And she explains the pros, that there are people with connections. That's where the drows live. That's also where...
The Illithid live.
In the Underdark, yeah. I'm talking about the Cascades specifically. She explains that that's the dangerous, deadly people who live there by the people who are captured by the Blackhearts. So if you guys are looking for somebody with information about ships and ship retrofitting, that might be somewhere to go. But it's very dangerous. There's, besides the drow who are dangerous, there's also the bullywugs nests, and they are dangerous, as you've seen. And it's also slavers. And there's also the Kuatoa, which are a race of dangerous, insane fish people. And she explains that, if you go to the wrong island there, you will just be immediately set upon and ripped apart by the Kuatoa. That's Kuo-toa. So you're going to need her assistance to go there.
I'm sorry, just repeat this, Austin. So the Cascades was the Underdark, Slavers, the Kuatoa.
The drow.
Well, that would be the Underdark there, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the entrance to the Underdark. It's on one of the islands in the island chain known as the Cascades. The rest are just death.
Yeah.
To the east is the Ragged Woods, which is really all that's left of a much larger landmass. That, the rest of it's below water. This is a forest within which Lavinia's home village of Spira is located. There's more backstory there. We'll get to that on another episode. But the Ragged Woods upside is that there is a civilization there that is friendly to you guys. Lavinia knows them. And it's pretty open knowledge that the Glitter Gold have some sort of operation in those woods as well. Lavinia would know that. The downside is she has no idea how her village would react to her coming back so soon and empty-handed. And that the woods is just kind of a shitty place to be, right? It's dangerous, and only people who are in that village or of that faith go there. It's not like a death trap like the Cascades are. It's just it's called the Ragged Woods because it's just kind of a bad, you know what I'm saying?
Rude.
To the south is the Tiger Mountains. It's a long mountain chain. It's actually much less of it is left. The water's been creeping up. At the foot of it used to be Drop's home village. It has obviously fallen into the sea. Somewhat higher up is Drop's monastery, and deeper into the mountains is the remains of the Lorelei region military. They've basically, since all the people with power and influence left, they have just taken up there. They're basically roving bandits and mercenaries. The positives are that since they're ex-military, they have a lot of information, a lot of survivalist tendencies. They probably have intelligence officers, maybe people who want a challenge. The downside is that they are powerful, deadly people, mostly made up of orcs, and orcs are unpredictable at the best of times. So that's another option. And to the west is Mykonos, Mykonos, and that's the largest city left in the region. It's on kind of an arid piece of land, and it's like a port city. The positives are that it's a city, so there's lots of people, there's like shops, there's some law and order. The downside is you have no idea how people in a city react in a, let's call it, pre-apocalyptic situation. So, it's a wild card there. But Joan tells you that she has contacts or something to leverage in all of those, basically. So the choice of where to go is yours. And I would like to use the last 5 minutes of this podcast for you to decide where your adventure will continue.
Violet votes for the Ragged Woods just because she's familiar with forests. That is her only idea.
Vinny's also going to vote for the Ragged Woods because it's her hometown.
I guess this is democracy.
Is it? I think...
Elise is going to ask Drop how safe the entire mountains would be, at least around the monastery, or at least what's left of it.
Drop shrugs and said, when I left the monastery, it wasn't so much monastery as it was monk in a large building.
Well,
if it's still there, it's pretty well fortified. But we weren't an army, especially at the end.
It's a mountain range. The peaks are covered in like ash and dust. There's not a lot of animal or plant life, so you're not going to be like in danger of getting jumped. It's just that the people there are it's mostly an ex-military orc army. So I mean, Joan tells you that she knows people there. You're not going to get killed if you go there. You can go anywhere and the game will continue.
Right. Well, we probably we could most likely find someone to actually outfit the ship in Mykonos. But we need resources. But we need resources first to do that.
I don't know how comfortable I feel bringing a unicorn to a big city, even with the hat.
If any of you have questions, Joan will answer them for you about any of these places.
Will you protect me and my horn?
Yes, if the hat's no work, we go into town, we buy you better hat.
Okay, I'm down with that plan.
But I will concede that our first stop, being the Ragged Woods, will be the most advantageous for us while we measure the other options along the way.
Violet says, okay, we're going to the Ragged Woods because I'm, the captain and everything. And she turns the wheel and we head east.
That's close enough to a vote.
It's funny. It's funny that we're talking about this.
It's a republic, not a democracy. America. Social commentary. Violet jerks the wheel, and you all set off to the next leg of your adventure in the untamed wilderness of the Ragged Woods.
Yay.
Did we level up?
Yes. Getting a ship was your first level up. Completing what happens in the Ragged Woods will be your second level up. I feel like you can look at the map and maybe do some math about about those things.
Right. I think somebody's been playing Telltale games.
I think somebody should kiss my butt. That's what I think.
I don't know. I'll have to work on Violet's sheet about how she levels up later.
Yep, we're going to take care of all the math stuff off screen. But coming up next, we're going to have the first of our character development / leveling up scenes, and we'll be back with that in just a minute. So on the journey to the Ragged Wood, you guys are on this ship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a precise amount of time nailed down, but the idea is that there's a a dangerous part of this journey where you'll be far enough from Meadowlark to be out at open water, but not close enough to the woods
Right.
to be out of danger. So like,
I assume that there's at least a period of time during which Alias is using some time to write in his journal, and namely just go over what has happened, what happened during the past day effectively, and do a bit of self-debriefing. And I'm sure, I assume that underneath the deck of the ship there is not much in terms of quarters, correct?
it's not an incredible amount. I mean, there's places you guys sleep. There wasn't like any food on board. You guys have like some rations. At some point, someone will probably have to address the living conditions on the ship. But right
Right.
now, like, this is a 3 days journey, maybe.
Right. And we have enough rations for those days on our person. We can at least manage getting to the woods, probably, barring any disasters.
Exactly. And like the idea is that just the farther you get from land, the more dangerous. So there's a point where like the exact middle of the journey is the most dangerous, right? 'Cause then
Right,
you're going
right.
to start getting close to the other place. So I'm thinking for your conversation, it's like right there in the most dangerous part. Are you below deck journaling?
Honestly, I think he would be above deck journaling, because being below deck, he might not be as used to being out in the ocean and be more prone to being sick if he is under deck. Just thinking about that. So chances are he is actually on deck doing his work in his journal.
Are you thinking, is there a specific time of day you had in mind? I'm just trying to like set this up in my mind.
It's still light enough above deck and outside of the ship for him to be able to be doing this little bit of journal keeping. It's not like at night and he's trying to do it by candlelight or anything. So it's just he found a point when the weather calmed down a little bit, if there was any rough weather, and it's pleasant enough outside for him to be just sitting down, looking over his damaged books and writing in his journal.
All right. So yeah, we'll start the scene there. I have thunder in my background, so I'm trying to like time it basically. Can you hear? How's that coming across?
It's barely like there's a faint murmur of a rumble. That's basically the most I'm getting on my end.
Not a deal breaker.
Right.
I was thinking like we set it during like a storm or something. But
Honestly, there could be a storm brewing in the distance, so
yeah.
it's clear enough, but it hasn't started yet. So
Yeah, why not? Let's use that. Yes, and
yes, exactly.
that's what they teach you. You're sitting on the deck. You're journaling. I guess Violet's probably driving the ship on the other end, but you guys aren't like
Right.
communicating in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Joan, everyone's favorite besuited drow, walks over and just kind of stands over you and doesn't really say anything. It's like obvious she's there for you, but is like not making the first move.
Right. Probably Elias will notice Joan, not by her footsteps approaching, but by her shadow sort of obscuring the book a little bit. He glances up and just sort of, acknowledges, "Oh, hello there, Joan. What brings you here at this time?"
So, Elf, are we going to have problem between us?
Oh, you mean, no, not really. I at least I don't. I mean, I suppose if I was going by what I'd been taught back at home, I should be at more cautious of being around a drow, I suppose. But at the same time, there's not like there's many options in terms of who I can trust at this time.
She just reaches down and like gently brushes your earrings, which you have previously described as you have like a sun in one and a moon in the other.
That's correct.
She just like lightly flicks one of them. That's her move.
It's just like that just sort of gives Elias pause, and then he just continues. I mean, you see the other company that I keep. It's unconventional all around, to say the very least.
Unconventional, yes. You have horse with horn. You have little leaf. You have slow man, turtle man. But what about you? I do not know you very well, and you wear marks of cyanine and Krellin. How do you not know I will cut your throat in the night and throw you overboard?
Well, I suppose if that was your plan, you could have done so at many other opportunities. And in addition to that, you would lose one less dangerous person to be working with then. Is that not true?
I suppose it's true. How dangerous are you, book boy? You have 2 swords. You have bow. What else do you have?
I suppose I have very little understanding of what the risks are, and when you don't know the risks, it's very easy to find yourself in more danger than you're expecting. I know that may not seem very impressive, but it's what's gotten me onto the ship so far.
So you are unpredictable.
That is in what I've read of other people who have claimed to be adventurers, that lack of predictability is an asset when used properly against others.
I see the way you look at illusion. Do you know magic?
Oh, no. I wasn't allowed to study it back at home. For some reason, back in Mithridane, the archmages, or the archmages to be, were the only ones really allowed to study magic in any deep, meaningful manner.
See, this is what happens when you leave men in charge.
Alias just sort of like grimaces a little at that, maybe a little confused from the cultural commentary, and just sort of shrugs. It's, well, just been the way I was told things are supposed to run, especially since things like the spell plague and other events that have caused less than harmonious relationships between the Feywild and the material plane. He just sort of glances around after that comment, sort of realizing how the material plane is currently. What brings you here? I mean, you come from the Cascades, I assume.
Yes, I come from Kalopsia, Drow City, in the Underdark. That's Kalopsia is the name of the city she just said to you.
I mean, is the Underdark at risk of this flooding at all, or is it safe at all?
There are many threats to the Underdark, but the flooding so far has not reached our shores. We are making moves, or they, I should say. It is complicated. You have people where you are from who tell you what to do, what you cannot do. It is very much the same for me. All my life, I do bad things for other people's benefit. Now it is time I do bad things for my benefit.
In my case, it's more that I've been, well, told what to do, or have been placed in circumstances where I do fairly mundane things. And I suppose my interest is to try to be more than just mundane. I guess that's what happens when you spend decades reading about heroes or adventurers or what have you doing things that change the world or shift great tides, as it were.
You are not mundane anymore, book boy. You steal ship. You are pirate now.
Suppose that's one way to look at it, though, I mean, I don't feel any different than I did before I took this ship.
What would the people at home think? That their book boy is pirate?
Well, I'm pretty sure they wouldn't approve, but then again, I'm fairly certain they don't approve me even being here in the first place, so I'm not sure which they would be more upset about.
Oh, so you are runaway too? You and I?
Yes, well, yes, I suppose.
Dark elf and light elf running away from our stuffy civilizations. 2 rebels on the high seas.
I suppose that's one way to look at it. As Job sometimes writes, when you travel with someone for long enough, sometimes you find ways you are more similar than you would expect before the journey.
But you can still go back, yes?
I don't even know if I can. That's an interesting thought.
Would they take you back?
I don't even know if I can return in any sort of permanent manner. The rift that I used to get here is one of those transient things that appears once every few years, every decade or so, and it's hard to control. the only other reliable way to get home is to find a location in the material plane that is in some sort of harmonious connection with the Feywild, or, barring that, being an archmage and being able to force a connection between the Feywild and the material plane. And, well, I'm not sure I have access to either at the moment.
That uncertainty sounds worse. I know I can never go back. I am exile, and that gives me closure. Perhaps you think. Perhaps you decide to not look back. Maybe you sleep better.
At this point, I'm simply not even giving it a thought. At the moment, I'm more concerned about making sure that my life isn't at immediate risk at any given time. I mean, in the past day or two, I was on a ship, then assaulted by pirates, nearly eaten by a monster of the sea, making an acquaintance with, well, as you describe yourself, a drow who is likely to cut my throat and toss me into the ocean, and then stealing a ship and nearly being stabbed through by a gnome guard who was merely doing his job. At the moment, going home might seem like an obvious place for my thoughts to be, but for now, all I can worry about is staying alive and making sure that my life is not at immediate risk.
Your life is always going to be at immediate risk. Look around. We are all dead already. We are just trying to find a place to spend what little time we have left.
Well, that does remind me of another quote from Job in his writings. He mentions about how, for some, the act of life itself is perhaps the greatest illusion, and like all great illusions, eventually it must come to an end. But for now, just the sheer sensation of being in this strange, well, exotic to me world is enough to keep me interested in moving forward.
I think I like this, Job. You teach me?
Sure. I mean, Alias pulls out the book in question, and presents it to Joan. It's one of the few books I made sure to keep safe. The others, as you saw, have been damaged by some capacity, and while Job wasn't a great archmage as Mordenkainen or Bigby, his stories seem to inspire a bit of confidence in me. The sense of going on a journey as one who may not be certain of his own abilities or even his own destiny, and trying to carve it out as well as he can.
You teach me your book? I teach you a little bit of magic. How's this sound?
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that last part again? I'm not sure if I heard it correctly.
She kneels down next to you and puts her hand over your hand and starts to do some movements with it. She's trying to show you how to do...
Somatic components, effectively.
Yeah, a simple cantrip, perhaps. No, like this.
Elise just sort of like follows the motion, aware of what's going on. I mean, I could roll, but I don't need to necessarily roll to understand what's going on here. It's like he just sort of follows along with what Joan's motions are as well as he can.
Oh boy, this is going to take a while.
Well, it's hard to learn the somatic components merely by reading. This is one of the reasons why the training is closed off to those who are selected to take it on. But if you're willing to teach, I'm willing to learn.
We have nothing but water and time.
Water, time, an unusual captain, dwindling rations, a sense of uncertainty about being able to get out of this region, and time, yes. All those things.
Time enough to teach a little book boy to throw a fireball.
As always, our theme song is Thunderstruck, an overclocked remix arrangement of Windmill Hut from The Legend of Zelda. Executive producers for July 2016 are Joseph Timbrello, Kirsten Haslinger, Ingmar Gremmen, The Cult of Gorfanax, Finch de Jong, King Waza, Allison Ansell, Luke Powers, Tarka, Michael Goodell, Wayne Witzke, Brent, Jason, Silken Guns, Matthew Weber, Emmanuel Garcia, Sarah Hanley, Neil, Melissa Booker, Keith Snyder, Cameron Abbas, Ariel Badger Release, Zenith Will Rule, Exley, Gary Sion, Dash Sean the Rage Monster, Carl, Harrison Andrew, Jade, Paul M., Jorrit, Figure Arnston, Anna Stuhlfarer, Dylan, Giorgio Renna, Christopher Charlo, Cody Jackson, August Rue, and Taylor Hoyt. If you want to support the show directly, you can find me at patreon.com/Austin Yorsky. You can find Leon at patreon.com/RenegadeCut. And you can find a link to Lauren's Etsy shop on her Twitter account. You can also help us out just by reviewing us on iTunes, subscribing to us on Podbean or YouTube, or leaving a comment wherever you listen to the show.